Welcome, desk. Welcome. You beat everyone else today. Woo! Welcome, Ace. Welcome, Ace. Welcome, desk. In lieu of my customary written sound effect, I shall greet you with an audible one. But yeah, let's do this thing. It's going to be a fun one, shall we? Shall we do? Let's do the thing. What thing we do? No idea. I was going to say something and then I completely forgot about it. So let's do things. Man, there have been so many people. Hey! V's doing the thing where he's announcing my streams for me because I'm terrible at advertising. Yay! So what is the audible? Oh gosh! My ears! I wear headphones! Jeez! Don't do that to me! No. I shall not. You need to fix the playlist. What? Is the playlist broken? I thought I fixed that. Is it broken again? I can't believe. Why is it always breaking? Playlist always breaking. Oh, it doesn't seem to have chapter 30 on there. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Oh, where's 29? What? Oh, what? 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 How? How? What? Huh? Where's 29? Did I not add keep it simple, stupid? I guess I didn't. Okay, let me add that. I should have. Yeah, you can let me know earlier than today. You can message me in Discord. I do lurk there from time to time. I mainly lurk there from time to time. I'm always watching, V. Always watching. Alright, there we go. It's in the playlist, but now to fix the playlist ordering so it actually shows up in there. And boom. No. And boom. Perfecto. The playlist, it is fixed. I quite clearly said if you're wearing headphones, don't. Where did you write that? If you're wearing headphones, so hey, you edited that. I did not see. There's no way I missed a warning that big. And how else would I know what I'm saying half the time if I don't have headphones on? It's a weird thing. Because in order to listen to the sound back, I need headphones, but I can't hear myself talk if I'm wearing headphones. So I can't really read with my headphones on. So now I now have a mic that allows me to plug in jack into the mic for zero feedback, so that I can wear headphones while talking. It's great. This is a great mic. Fantastic. Fantastico. There we go. But yes, missing chapters are fixed. It might update, it might not. It's probably doing a thing. But yeah. Yeah. And I did not have time to finish this chapter last week. So we're going to finish it and then see if I can get through another chapter today. We shall see. We shall see. I was going to do something and then I forgot. other than this, how did I do Mini Twy? Mini Twy, how Mini Twy help? Her nervous smile was, I would have to. Mini Twy, Philly and her apparent protector to proceed. Mini Twy, where is my voice for you? Mini Twy. Says you're scary good at being a statue. Everyone's devolving into Topaz. She says you're scary good at being a statue. Topaz, Fluttershy, Cadence, Moth Chaser, they're all going into one voice. There's a conversation between the four of them, then there's just out the window. Yeah, I was just recently rereading the story, and there are some parts I can't wait to get to reading, which means I probably should read so I can speed up so I can get to those parts sooner. But one thing that I don't think was ever answered in these more recent chapters is, why does Idle think that the sewers have the undead in them? Is that like an ogre and oubliettes thing? Or as he calls it, like the oogres and the bliettes? Welcome, demo. Welcome. Yeah. Like in the aftermath of Discord, when they let Nymph in, when she gets turned into a changeling burrito with sticky traps, I really want some art of that scene. That is the best. That's just the absolute best. But like, he's like, no, I wouldn't keep her in the sewer because that has no, it's technically an aqueduct. Besides, the sewers have the undead in them. It's like, wait, Idle knows that the undead are in the sewers? What? And now that I think about it, it's more likely that he heard some like full story and no one's corrected him on it, much like the sock. Oh man. V, you need to get an icon for YouTube. Like, it's easy to spot like the default one, but you need to get Idle in there, dude. Need to do something. Maybe we should have an art contest since we're needing emojis. Get more emojis. Hello, Habit. Hello, and I see what you did there. Welcome, one and all. Welcome. For any of you that missed last week, good news, because we're still doing the same chapter. Except that there is going to be less distractions this time around, mainly because I've already told you my changeling headcanon that I always like to subscribe to, because it's just so interesting. Like, those of you who were here last week know it, but those of you who weren't, watch last week's live stream because it takes up like an hour of runtime to get through it all, and it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Yeah, and besides, that's not my only head canon. I'm going to continue the topic from last week, just because I don't know. I like distracting myself, I guess. Is that there's other headcanons that I have, like there is a like spirit that guards like Everfree in like the natural world. That's actually like the headcanon that Equinox and my counter ego Solstice comes from, because I'm unoriginal when it comes to naming conventions. Balance and extremes, but less distractions. Sure. Hey, shush. Unfortunately, if I change the icon here, apparently I apparently changed the one on all my Google account stuff, which I don't want to do. I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Or you can make a second Google account just for this, and then just name that V. Then you just name that one V Drake, and then you have your public account, and then you have your pony account. That's actually what I'd for email addresses, just because I keep on separating things that don't necessarily need to be separated. Do I have to pay you for this session? Oh. Oh, man. Welcome, Team Spen. Spen. Alright, welcome, Sven, comma, Chain, or Ace, V, Habit, Demo, and I think I got everyone. Did I get everyone? I think I got some. Wait, hey, that's kind of mean, Habit. I'm not that distracted. Then why do you have them all connected? Ah! 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 What do you mean I have them all connected? I don't... What? I'll figure that out soon enough. And then, like, there's... Oh, Jane, maybe? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. And then I have a headcanon that Equestria is like the far-flung post-apocalyptic future of Earth. You know, that was a theory that hung, and I find it interesting. Like not post-apocalyptic. Post-apocalyptic in the kind of that the human ended, and that when Sunset Shimmer went across, she brought when Twilight brought her magic across, it infected the world, and that's why they like do the pony up thing and whatnot. And so that magic starts inhabiting the world, soaking in, and eventually turns everyone into ponies, creating, and then like the breakdown of society, and then Equestria after that. Now I'll call you Ace. I'll call him Ace. And that's what leads to Equestria. And that falls into another headcanon where there's this group of like androids, basically Cybermen, except instead of upgrading, they're mostly just there to retain knowledge of everything. That's why I call them the Archive. And I don't really do much with the Archive, to be honest. I don't really do much a lot with my headcanons. But those are my main three. Changelings create themselves, and they were started by Discord. The Earth is the Equestria is post-apocalyptic Earth, and there's like a OC like empire out there that's just full of like AIs and whatnot that used to be humans that retain all knowledge that they come across. That headcanon is like 80% of the concept behind oversaturation. What's oversaturation? Is that a story that I haven't read yet? Is that a pony fan fiction reference? Hold the phone. Oh. Interesting. Read later. Yay. I read of a story that never finished where Equestria was the future of Earth, but it was after millions of years, and they knew of a primate that they were all descended from. Cough. Hold on. Cough, Lauren, Fausticorn, cough. Cough, cough. Cough. Sorry, my coughing fit has has started again. Hey, you know what other story I haven't read yet? Shattered Skies. Maybe I'll get to it. It's a possibility. Probably not, but it's possible. Maybe. Probably not. we shall see. We shall see. There we go. There we go. There's the top of the chapter. It's a fanfic group story. Oh, is it like one of those stories that spawn their own like subgroup, like Last Pony on Earth and Fallout Equestria, and funny enough, Idle Hooves. Changeling of the Guard is pretty much its own group fic at this point. uh, it's fantastic. Man, you guys are keeping me busy tonight. You're distracting me very efficiently tonight. Although I do distract myself. So, there's also that. It kind of explains why they have doorknobs and stuff. Yeah, that I can see that. Explains why they have doorknobs. Could also explain why they have cut gemstones, like ready to harvest from the earth instead of like their raw mineral form. Oh, and Friendship as Optimal. That's another group. I've only read the first story. I haven't really read too much of like the branching out stories. Like really, there's only like 3 groups that I've like fallen into, and that I've continued to read stories that come from that, and that's Fallout Equestria. Another one is not Friendship is Optimal, but what was it? I'm going to have to look this up. Hold on. Where's my library? Bring me my library. I don't have it in my library. How do I not have it in my library? Oh, the Ponies After People, Fall Equestria, Ponies After People, and Changeling of the Guard. Those are the 3 groups that I mainly read stuff from. We found Princess Celestia in extended court, and I immediately felt sympathy for the monarch restored. A number... We found Princess Celestia in extended court, and I immediately felt sympathy for the monarch restored. A number of the... It took me to I just read this chapter like 2 days ago with me rereading the book, and it doesn't hit me till now what he meant by that. I'm like, is that supposed to be like Luna? Is that supposed to be a Luna? But Luna's not in yet. And it's like a comma that's missing or something like that. Fluttershy turns into a tree, the changelings become a cult, and the sirens become a talk show. Like, why wouldn't they be on, like, American Idol or something like that? You know, charm and bewitch the audience. Like, some of my favorite songs in Equestria Girls or in the show, I should say, come from Rainbow Rocks. To be honest, I haven't watched anything after Rainbow Rocks, so there might be better songs, but sirens are still like one of my favorite villains. Okay, Twilight, calm down. So the game Maneater is pretty fun. It's really Jaws Unleashed. Hey, just because I have, how many am I? Just because I have 420, nice, books in my library with an additional 400 to be read does not make me Twilight. I just really like, books. Okay, I've given up making a YouTube icon. I apparently cannot do that. What? Oh, man. Ah, that's not good. That's sad. Wait, fan of most everything said, be sure Be sure to check to see if the story is marked complete. They tend not to update after the last chapter goes up. Who's the fan of most everything? Do I have more of their stuff? Like, I just got messaged by just an author. Like, hold on. Check my hiatus shelf? Okay, I'll check my hiatus shelf. Oh, I accidentally put in my hiatus shelf instead of my read later shelf. That's what I was missing? Okay. Okay. My bad. Oh, man. I spent like 2 weeks. I spent like a month ago, I spent like 2 days reorganizing my FimFic bookshelf because I just only had 4 bookshelves in the entire thing to contain all my books, and I couldn't find anything ever. So I reorganized it, and I'm still putting things in the wrong places. Stars World fought them in a battle of the bands, creating many genres of music before finally managing to banish them. Ah, cool. As the guy who read every non-romance book in my high school library back when I was in high school, I think I'm closer to Twilight than Knox. I mean, like, I find one book and then I'll just keep reading that book. Like Percy Jackson and the Olympians. But, like, one of my favorite book series of all time. Like, one of my favorite book series. And it's mostly... and I read that and I think I've read that over like 30 times while I was in elementary school. It was such a good series. I just kept rereading it. And then I kept rereading more things. 39 Clues. Still need to finish that series. Or, I did finish the first series, but now I need to finish the second series. Alright, then you are Twilight Knox, and Knox shall be Sunset. Percy Jackson and the Olympians are great. I'm not as much of a fan with the second series. I like it, but I don't like it as much as the original. Which, I don't know, maybe it just got too complicated for me or something like that. But I do still love the second series. I haven't read the... I still haven't read the third series that came out. Kane Chronicles. Love Kane Chronicles. His Nordic version. Still haven't read it. Mainly because I tried to read it with Audible and I wasn't a fan of the way that the narrator was reading things. So maybe I'm just too used to Jim Dale when he was reading like the Harry Potter series, because Jim Dale's a fantastic voice actor. 39 Clues is on their 5th series? Oh my gosh. 39 Clues. Well, hold on. No, wait. That reminds me of a meme. Avengers Endgame, the most ambitious crossover ever. 39 Clues. Hold my literature. Because it's like 6 different authors that are writing that series, right? It's like insane. Alright, I'm just messaging fan of most everything, letting them know. It's the wrong shelf. Sorry. Thanks for letting me know, though. Bye! And now, maybe I can actually read. Can I read? I don't know. I pretend to, I guess. Knox's Moon Dancer. That might be more accurate, to be honest. I mean, the Kane Chronicles also confirmed that with the... We don't go to Manhattan. There's Manhattan has other problems to worry about as lightning crashes in the background. It's like, just to let you know, all the gods exist at the exact same time. because the protagonist of the Norse book is the love interest of Percy Jackson. Oh, interesting. And I know that cousin of the love interest, and I know that there's was it? Because I know, like in the Kane Chronicle, they mention one of the main characters of the Kane Chronicles in the Percy Jackson series. I just don't know when it's mentioned. I think it's in the second series when they're talking about like, oh, it came from like Aphrodite or something like that, or we met up with these people that or something like that. Like they came across like the main characters. Cousin of the love interest. Oh, okay. Interesting. I might take a read into the Norse book when the world opens back up. But I still need to read Martian. Martian, great series. Martian, I have high hopes for it. Still need to read it. I own the physical copies. I still haven't read them though. Kane Chronicles got a three short story crossover with Percy Jackson. Ooh, interesting. Have a good night, comma. We shall see you next stream. I love fan of most everything was apparently watching for that. Yeah, that is very true. They were probably just got a notification that, hey, you got added to a hiatus folder. Instantly messages me, hey, might want to remove it from your hiatus folder. Oh, man. Because I have two read it later folders. I have read it later and then reading list and then actively reading. And I have to limit those last two, or else they'll just get oversaturated and then I won't read them at all. It's like tiers of readability. And, oh man, I'm getting way too into my fanfic bookshelf now. A number of the nobility I had found were exceptionally certain of their own. A number of the nobility I had found were exceptionally certain of their own importance, regardless of any evidence. It's going to be one of those chapters, isn't it? Oversaturated, you say? Yes. Basically, when Greek and Egypt magic mixes, it causes problems only solvable by the mix of Egypt and Greek. Interesting. By banishing me, you have banished the gods. That was like a cool, like, ending thing to it. Kane Chronicles, I didn't understand, like, most of what was happening until, like, the third time read through. Like, I understood it, but I didn't really, like, get all the subtleties of what was going on until, like, the third read through, and then it became even better. That's my favorite part of stories, is that they just get better the more you read them, because you just notice more things as you read them. Like with Changing of the Guard. I've read this story like at least 15 times already. And I'm still finding out new things about it because I'm reading it so much more thoroughly while I'm voicing it. And it's great. Because I don't know about you, but my brain has the annoying time of skipping over like several sentences and just linking up where it picks off and be like, yeah, that's how it works, and then just shoves me right along. And I don't notice anything wrong with it. So so I've been missing so many things, but since I have to read so deeply to get it, I'm appreciating the story even better now. Jokes that completely flew over my head when I first read them now makes sense, and it's great. It's fantastic. A number of the nobility I had found were exceptionally certain of their own. A number of the nobility I had found were exceptionally certain of their own importance. A number of the nobility I had found were exceptionally certain of their own importance, regardless of any evidence to the contrary. One had even attempted to walk through guards who were protecting Princess Celestia's private luncheon from unwanted intruders. After disabusing her of the notion that she was always welcome anywhere in the palace, we dusted her off and sent her to the Great Hall to wait properly. I found Lady Highbrow to be most polite after that, if skittish. Still, for the record, oversaturated started the Church of the Divine Bacon Horse. Oh, so does that mean, what's his name? I keep forgetting his name because I am a terrible person. Does that mean past analysis is part of it? I know him. If skittish. There we go. Still, I did not have to deal with them on a personal level, and I found that entirely to my satisfaction. After all, if they were so far above me in social caste, it would not be proper. There we go. one paragraph down, and I've been streaming for 40 minutes already. Great start. Bravo. Fantastic. Oh, man. Church of Bacon Horse is just basically a cult surrounding Sunset. Pretty much. It's much like the religion surrounding the Helix fossil. No one really... People do it, but they don't really understand it. Just kidding. But yeah, just like Sunset best human horse girl thing. And that's the Church of the Divine Bacon Horse. Much like how there's a church of Starlight, and probably a Church of the Alicorn, like Book Horse. Church of Book Horse is probably... It's because her mane looks like bacon, even though to me it looks more like ketchup and mustard, like other people have said in the past. But everyone's like, "Oh, it's Bacon Horse, Bacon Horse. It's bacon." That some were unquestionably rude to the princess, however. That some were unquestionably rude to the princesses, however, made me seethe. How dare they? How dare my voice crack like that? Also, the reason Lyra is obsessed with hands, she's actually the human Lyra who swapped over with the actual pony Lyra back when she was a kid. Oh, that's an interesting take, because I've read anthropology, loved anthropology, and I like the explanation for why Lyra was so obsessed with hands in anthropology, but I don't know if I like that better or just as much, because that's a very interesting concept. That some were unquestionably rude to the princesses, however, made me seethe. How dare they? How dare? How dare they? How dare? How dare they? Being rude to the princesses, I do declare. That some were unquestionably rude to the princesses, however, made me seethe. How dare they? How dare they indeed? How dare they? Schooling myself was ever the challenge. I did not wish to upset Miss Pants. Sorry, Miss Pants. Slip of the tongue. Schooling myself was ever the challenge. I did not wish to upset Miss Pants more than necessary, and again, it was not my place to judge them, though judge them I did all the same. Most unprofessional of me. Yes. Celestia stood, imperious as ever, and finally told him that the decision had been made. Oh no, I have to remember Celestia's voice. I forgot that this was a thing in this chapter. Oh no. I think it was something along the lines of, let's see, what was the original line of? It was like, please get up. It would not do. I never really liked the. It was something like this, very breathy and airy, and does not make for good teasing, which it happens later in the story, and and it does not sound that right at all. Oh no. I forgot Celestia had more speaking lines. Yes, Sally time. Luckily, I have voice effects to save me. Any differences between Celestia and Cadence and all the other mares I have voiced over this time is moot because they have distinctly different voice effects, considering Celestia only has voice effects. I know I should save a sample of each character. I've been meaning to do that for weeks, and I keep forgetting. Ah. Yes, raise the doom flag. Doom, doom, doom. I actually have one of those. It's somewhere in my room. I have a doom flag. No lag. Oh no, am I lagging? Oh no. I will pay close attention to that, because I do not want the stream to be cutting out like it did last week. Okay. Hold on. I can't even bring it up on... I can't even bring it up because I don't know when it happens in the chapter. Forgive me, my little ponies, but we have discussed this to the point where there is nothing more to be said. The Crown will continue to purchase produce and preserves, as we have always done. If any of you wish to contribute to the common good or distribute your own efforts, by all means, I support that wholeheartedly. But there will be no more discussion of appropriating farming. This is terrible. But there will be no more discussions of appropriating farmland for the use of the Crown, regardless whether it was initially granted by said Crown. By said Crown. Ah, Sally, no. By said Crown. I doth decree that this is my least favorite voice to do. Oh, jeez. Celestia, I feel so sorry. You have to deal with me. Not that I mind. I'm just going to be more upset if I can't do a proper Luna voice. Initially granted by said Crown. There we go. The efforts, by all means. I support that wholeheartedly. It does not sound that well. But it shall have to do. There was grumbling. There was always grumbling, but grudging acceptance as well. For that, I had to give them some credit. They might hiss and spit like angry larvae, but at least they obeyed. I maintained composure and a neutral expression. You gotta think of talking like Queen Elizabeth when you read for Celestia. Welcome, buddy. Welcome, buddy. I don't know how Queen Elizabeth speaks, though. That's the thing. Last week, I successfully convinced Drake to write in a chapter that only speaks that Bushman clicking language. He's going to be the new protagonist. Oh, man. As long as it's not speak, then I'm good. I maintain composure. I maintained composure. I maintained composure and a neutral expression as the nobles filed out past us in a disorganized mob of rank, waiting for Princess Celestia to formally acknowledge myself and my charge. I blinked, looking for the little pony, but she had hid behind me, clearly embarrassed. A warm smile from the princess quickly coaxed her out, and I felt the introduction was in order. She speaks like Celestia. Yes, but how does Celestia? We're not doing this. It's like that meme of how do you draw a rose? You draw a cabbage and paint it red. But how do you draw a cabbage? You draw a rose and paint it green. I'm not doing that again. I know your tricks, and I shall not be fooled by them. Or Sally speaks like her. Fun fact, I learned this like a couple of days ago. Apparently she wears bright colors because she's afraid that people won't recognize her. That's why she doesn't wear any boring colors. And why she's like in pastel and neon like dresses and whatnot. Oh, it's great. It's just like, yes, you are the ruling monarch. Your face is on the money, and you're afraid of people won't recognize you. And then all the memes that come out every time she wears like the green screen outfit is amazing. All the memes that come out of there are fantastic. Who's Ashmere? I don't know who Ashermere. Is that something from Shattered Skies? Or something else that I don't quite know of? And I'm falling back in to my radio demon impression. I do not know where the radio demon eventually came from, but I shall do my best to remember so I can use him appropriately when the time comes. And rereading the more recent chapters have given me a setback because I'm going to have to voice characters in dramatic situations that I did not think that I would have to voice them in. It's going to be very, very interesting. Announcing Lady Smarty Pants, Your Highness, I offered, not entirely certain of the terminology. And companion. Celestia raised an eyebrow at that, a hint of bemusement to the smile. And for any of you wondering why Celestia and Cadence have voice effects, it's mainly because in my mind, when Idol first saw Celestia at the Summer Sun celebration, he could see her power, and it actually reverberated in him. So we can just basically innately tell their power level is over 9,000. And so it bears a hint of the godly alicorn voice, much similar to what took him over back when he became Fire Alicorn Idol. Not shattered, not shattered. What, don't want to summon Desk, I'm guessing? Smarty Pants, is it? Smarty Pants, is it? Smarty Pants, is it? She raised a hoof to the doll gently, as if greeting a foreign dignitary. How do you do? How do you do? How do you do? The filly giggled delighted, but then cleared her throat. What? 9,000? I'm sorry. I'm sorry I was late. Why, Twilight, whatever. Now it was Celestia's turn to blink, and then... Now it was Celestia's turn to blink, and I went still. Twilight? Who... Then who was Smarty Pants? When Idol saw Celestia for the first time, he probably felt like a bug looking up at the magnifying glass as it approaches. That's probably not inaccurate. Her power level was far above hers. And I actually do have a plan for whenever... for those who listen closely enough, that when Chrysalis does her sneaking, it's not going to sound... If Idol doesn't immediately notice that Chrysalis is Cadence, there's going to be a hint in the sound where it's going to be Cadence's godhood voice over top the voice modifier that I used for Chrysalis back in the beginning. And you know what? I was originally planning on using that voice effect for all the changeling characters when they were out of their form, and I completely forgot. So now it's not a thing anymore. So it was going to be a thing, and then I forgot to do it, so now it's not a thing because I can't retroactively fix that thing. So going forward, I shall remember to do the thing for Cadence and Celestia. I've actually wanted to stop doing that too, but I can't because there's no reason to not do it, to just keep doing it and then just stop in the middle of the story. So Luna's not going to have it when she first gets back, but once she regains her strength, then she's going to have it. Good you ain't. I know it's good that I'm not. But it was an idea that I had, because this was back when I was not at all proficient in voice acting. I'm still not at all proficient in voice acting, but I'm at least a little bit better. Now it was Celestia's turn to blink, and I went still. Twilight? Who was Smarty Pants then? Now it was Celestia's turn to blink, and I went still. Twilight? Who was... the sentence is in an order that I'm not used to. Spelling intentional. God ya ain't. Exactly. It's going to be like... I was either having it going to be like Chrysalis's voice underneath Cadence's, so that way it's like a subtle hint, but then I'm like, it might be too obvious, so I'm going to layer that underneath Cadence's, like she's trying to mimic a god, but she's doing a poor job of it. Boy, you're lucky that I decided not to constantly do fairy verbal tics in Shattered Skies. That would drive you insane. I do not know what verbal tics are at all, and I still can't pronounce half the words in Shattered Skies, even though you did supply a very, very nice lesson in... A very nice lesson in... is the nickname of the guy who writes One Piece. Well, I've never watched One Piece or read it, so that's why I didn't know it. I've been thinking of watching One Piece, but then again, I've been meaning to watch a lot of anime, to be honest. Like, the only anime that I've seen, I think I've said this before, but the only anime I've seen outside of, like, some Studio Ghibli films, and of Studio Ghibli, I've only watched, like, a few, like Spirited Away, Princess Mononoke, The Princess of the Valley of the Wind, and Howl's Moving Castle, and Castle in the Sky. But I haven't haven't watched any other Ghibli films. And outside of that, the only anime I've seen is like Sergeant Frog, SAO, the first 2 seasons, and Full Metal Alchemist, the original series. And I haven't watched anything else other than that. Gouda is the name of the guy who writes One Piece. There's an old meme. Gouda never forgets. If I'm pronouncing that wrong, then I don't care. What? No. I'm not doing. I'm not even going to pretend to get that. I'm going to pretend so hard. I'm going to double pretend. Now it was Celestia's turn to blink, and I went still. Twilight? Then who was Smarty Pants? Order, was I a fool? The smallest detail mentioned becomes a major plot point 500 chapters later. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Nope. Like how people think that yeast is like a mutation of yeast, of a yeast infection basically caused Titans in Attack on Titan kind of deal. I still want to watch that. I can't find an English dub anywhere. And yes, dubs over subs. Yay. I will get murderized for that, but I will go down with that ship. Party. Oh, I'm terribly sorry, Twilight. Oh, I am terribly sorry, Twilight. Oh, I am terribly sorry, Twilight. I'm afraid I was quite caught up with... She made a vague... Oh. Oh, I am terribly sorry, Twilight. I'm afraid I was quite caught up with... She made a vague notion... She made a vague motion... She made a vague motion towards... She made a vague motion to the door. She made a vague motion to the door of the petitioners. She made a vague motion to the door the petitioners had gone through. I hope you weren't waiting long. I hope you weren't waiting long. No, only a little while. She beamed, clearly so pleased that the princess was not... She beamed, clearly so pleased She beamed, clearly so pleased that the princess was not disappointed with her that she was almost bouncing. The fairies in Precure typically say some kind of tick at the end of every sentence. Every sentence. Well, the good thing that there's no fairies in these work. Or carapaces. Even though there are fae-like. She beamed. She beamed, clearly so pleased that the princess was not disappointed with her that she was almost bouncing. Well then, we have some catching up to do. Would you like to join me for a late breakfast? Would I? I mean, yes, I would, Twilight stated, very properly. I found a quite... Would I? I mean, yes, I would, Twilight stated, very properly. I found I quite like this filly, a good strong sense of decorum. And you, Guard's pony? And you, Guard's pony? The princess deigned. Deigned. Deigned.
Dane.
Okay, yep, it's deigned. The princess deigned to favor me with that warm smile, and I felt my chest swell. I had expected years before I met with her approval in this task. Oh no. There's no phase yet. The princess. Oh, that would. No. I would refuse vehemently. Yes, I do can do the. I too can learn the words of the V. Which is apparently by eating a dictionary. By eating a dictionary, I too can attain the power over words that V has so effortlessly done. The princess deigned to favor me with that warm smile, and I felt my chest swell. The princess deigned to favor me with that warm smile, and I felt my chest swell. I had expected years before I met with her approval in this task. Regardless of previous interaction or what others had said, I would strive to be worthy of it. Vaguely, I wondered if that was how Shining started. No, I decided. His aspirations were far different than my own. I know it's deigned. I just looked. Funny enough is that my book reader actually has a lookup table, so I can actually get pronunciations of words without going into the browser, and it's so nice. Deigned. I must return to my duties, Your Highness. I emitted with what I hoped was a good bow. It was a poor grovel, but she had explained once that she did not care for such, and it would do to not tell her, for her to tell me that twice. Ah, gosh, this sentence. I emitted with what I hoped was a good bow. It was a poor grovel, but she had explained once that she did not care for such, and it would not do for her to tell me twice. It would not do for her to tell me. Ugh. I admitted with what I hoped was a good bow. It was a poor grovel, but she explained once that she did not care for such, and it would not do. It would not do for her to tell me twice of such an error. I don't know why, but this reminds me of like a tiny changeling baby of Idle, like a little idle nymph, an idle nymph. The Adventures of Idle Nymph. It's like those memes of cats like whining and like as like spoiled like Victorian children. Something similar for Idle when he was a nymph. It just came and it's like the cutest, funniest thing I've seen. I want to play with the other larvae, mother. Oh, it's so cute. I want that. I want a picture of that now. Maybe I should commission Ty to draw a changeling burrito for me first, because changeling burrito nymph was like one of my favorite scenes. Oh, you mean the nymph? I admitted with what I hoped was a good bow. It was a poor grovel, but she had explained once that she did not care for such, and it would not do for. I admitted with what I hoped was a good bow. It was a poor grovel, but she had explained once that she did not care for such, and it would not do for her to tell me twice. Enjoy your breakfast, Miss Twilight, Miss Pants. Enjoy your breakfast, Miss Twilight, Miss Pants. I gave a careful nod to both the purple filly and gray totem. If the princess was going to treat it with caution, I would certainly do no less. Twilight gave a cheerful wave, a faint purple outline surrounding the hoof of the. A chorito? Yes, a chorito. I gave a careful nod to both the purple filly and gray totem. If the princess was going to treat it with caution, I would certainly do no less. Twilight gave a cheerful wave, a faint purple outline surrounding the hoof of her doll to make it do likewise. And then her attention was focused entirely on the princess. Good, she had a firm grasp of priority as well. I quite approved of her. I still haven't finished with this last part of this chapter, and I have an hour left. Or chingachonga? Chimichurri? Churrito or chingachonga? Churrito or chingachonga? Churrito or chingachonga? I liked reassuring her surprisingly frantic parents approximately. I liked reassuring her surprisingly frantic parents approximately an hour later, considerably less. Water, why do you have to do this to me? I love you so. Agua, don't you hurt me like this. Deliciousness. The only way to stream a live stream with some good old-fashioned water. Oh, sorry, I'm supposed to put in quotes now. With good old-fashioned agua. Or water. Or water agua. Or agua water. Something like that. Aqua fresh. What is Dasani? Choose Dasani. Comes right out of the tap. Literally. Oh, jeez. What am I doing? Oh, man. I liked reassuring her surprisingly frantic parents approximately an hour later, considerably. I hope you never have to make an audio version of The Eye of Argon. Lies. Nox is still drunk. Oh god, Eye of Argon. What's the Eye of Argon? I do not know. What's the Eye of Argon? Hold on. Is this, Eye of Argon. What is this? Oh. Is a heroic fantasy novella that illustrates the adventures of a Grigner, a barbarian. It was written in 1970 by Jim, and circulated anonymously in science fiction fandom since then. Huh. Interesting. I've never heard of this book before. I will look into it. I shall look into this mysterious mystery. To read from it without... I took the challenge at a con once, to read from it without laughing. What? Is it that good? I only made it a few lines? Now I'm interested. You had my curiosity. Now you have my attention. Changa sounds like Mexican and Asian food love child. Like a paella burrito. With Spanish and Mexican coming together. A paella burrito. If any of you don't watch the specific YouTube series that I watch, you don't really know what I'm talking about, but oh well. It's still a funny reference to those people who do. I liked reassuring her surprisingly frantic parents approximately an hour later, considerably less. I did the Eye of Argon challenge at a convention party and was able to read several paragraphs by doing a Patrick Stewart impression. Shall I bring out my Sean Connery impression to do the Eye of Argon challenge? To be honest, I did this impression throughout the entirety. Hold on. Is this... No, this isn't... No, that's not my Sean Connery. Sean Connery. This is my Sean Connery impression. I learned this impression from watching Hunt for Red October. like one of the best movies, even though it has like an Irishman playing a German sub captain. It was. I watched that now. It's so great. I did Elmer Fudd for my reading. What is this Eye of Argon challenge? I don't. I don't. Is this like a thing that I don't know about because it's pop culture and I don't know pop culture that much? I don't know. It's a thing. I'm guessing it's a thing. Is this going to be at a... Oh. If thou wishes to challenge me at the Eye of Argon challenge, I shall be at Everfree Northwest if it continues to go on. If it doesn't, then I'll see you next year. But any of you who wishes to do the Eye of Argon, challenge me to the Eye of Argon, be there at Everfree. I may even record it. Who knows? I know it's a game at cons. I told you, it's a convention. It's a convention thing. Not pop culture, convention. But I've never seen this at conventions before. Maybe only comic book conventions. Possibly. Because I only really go to pony conventions, and I've never seen this challenge before, and now I feel really left out because a lot of people know this when I really don't, and it's kind of weird. Anyway, let's continue. I liked reassuring her. I liked reassuring her surprisingly frantic parents approximately an hour later, considerably less. They had apparently upended their home, perhaps literally, and scoured every inch of Canterlot up to the palace and were initially informed that Twilight was not here. Thankfully, I arrived. Thankfully, I arrived. Thankfully, I arrived. It's a hilariously terrible fantasy novella. I will be intrigued to read it. Thankfully, I arrived just in time to hear the inaccuracy and correct it. The verification seemed to restore sanity to them. They seemed amused and relieved by my further assurances that Smarty Pants was with her and that the princess was currently overseeing both breakfast and tutelage. I wondered if they were so overprotective of Shining in his youth, but I somehow doubted it. Shining's defensive abilities likely made the little harms that befell the young utterly impotent. Shining's defensive abilities likely made the little harms that befall the young utterly impotent. I could scarcely imagine how they would handle the knowledge that their son was reaching so far above his station. Then again, they might already know and approve of his relationship goals. It's the apple of fantasy fiction. Ooh! Now I'm very interested. You had my curiosity. Now you had my attention. Now you have my you had my curiosity and my attention. Now for my interest. Now you have my interest. It's just several layers deep, the more you talk about it. Oh no, did I screw something up? I messed with it. Oh, there. Thank goodness I could fix it. Why is Scotland? Why? What? Why is Scotland? Oh, Wickus. What? Why is Scotland? I could say why is America, but or why is Ireland? Do I come from Ireland or Scotland? I think I come from Ireland. I think my family were originally from Ireland. Maybe why we settled so far west, because we liked potatoes so much. I promised to let Shining know his sister was on site at first opportunity, and also to keep an eye on their youngest offspring. Oh, yeah, this is one of my favorite parts. A hiccup of green flame erupted from a bundle on Velvet's back. I did not jump, but I may have damaged the mortar of several floor tiles in my zeal not to do so. The fabric-clad bundle began to squirm and fret with a hiss that would do a changeling larva proud. I did not jump, but I broke the floor. Oh, it's so great. Here's a link to the full text of Eye of Argon. I might do this. I might do this challenge on stream. We'll see how it goes. Doom! Doom! I have to voice their parents. I did that already. Hold on, I need to go back to the future. Hold on. It was it was soap poisoning. Oh no. And if you get that reference, you get a cookie. It was soap poisoning. Yes, do it. Do it. Should I be worried that Desk is so adamant that I read this? I probably should fear for something, but I do not know if I should fear if I'm fearing enough. Where's Call of Duty Black Ops? Spit and polish. Call of Duty Black Ops. There we go, chapter 28. Here we go again. Changeling of the Guard. She frowned, tilting her head. Surely they didn't make you refrain during this? No, ma'am. I believe I handled it better. Shining, in truth, had less than I think. It does get blurry around. Dusk? That sounds about right, she admitted, laughing. I recommend you have a coffee ready for the morning then. Come on, Nighty, let's get our son to bed. Honestly, I thought we'd never get the chance to tuck him in again. Oh, they are voices that sound very, very similar to what I've already done. Oh no, I have made a grievous error. The only person who... it's Desk. The only person who it would be worse from is Medi. I take offense at that habit. Ooh, should I bake some popcorn and for the event? I'm still not finished with this chapter, and I have a half hour left. It's taken me an hour to nearly read the last part of this chapter that I didn't get last time. How long is this chapter? Is this like just an absurdly long chapter that had to be split? I must know now, because this is kind of ridiculous how long it's taken me. Come on, where is it? Where is it? Come on. Oh yeah, it's double the length of the usual chapter. It's about as long as Call of Duty Black Ops, which I did have to split in two. So I was set up to fail, to be honest. But I will finish this chapter, even if it kills me. Less distractions, indeed. There have been less distractions. There have definitely been less distractions. It's just been a really long chapter. Surely they didn't make you refrain from this. Second youngest now. Twilight the Elder cooed to the fussing baby dragon. It's all right, Spike. It's all right. It's all right, Spike. It's all right. Nightlight gave a chuckle of his own as he rubbed the back of his head. Never thought. There we go. There we go. Slightly older Shining. Never thought I'd be raising another son. Never expected him to have scales, or set my coffee table on fire either. But who can predict the future, right? Does he do that often? I had to admit, he seemed to have taken to said dragon hatching. I had to admit, he seemed to have taken to said dragon hatchling rather well. The fire? The fire. The fire or the coffee table, because the two coincide more often than you'd think. I think it spooks him. And I think the furniture polish makes him think he's supposed to set it on fire, instinctually. Wait, hold on. But that's supposed to be Twilight. The fire or the coffee table? The fire or the coffee table, because the two coincide more than you'd think. I think it spooks him. And I think the furniture polish makes him sick. Makes him think. And I think the furniture polish makes him think he's supposed to set it on fire, instinctually. Dear, none of the books the princess sent. Dear, none of the books the princess has sent. Princess. Dear, none of the books the princess sent makes any mention of baby dragons incinerating coffee tables out of instinct, with or without mahogany-scented oils. Twilight, Velvet rolled her eyes as she unstrapped her bundle and drew a bottle that seemed to be filled with a thick slurry of shiny substance. The baby dragon latched onto it with a predatory hunger, but his growls and hisses continued even as he drank. He's just fussy 'cause he misses his big sister, isn't he? She nuzzled the frilled form affectionately. A glow surrounded the feeding reptile as his adopted mother began rocking him in midair, humming softly. The noise began to die down almost immediately, and within half a minute, the little fellow was back to sleep and perched again on his mother's back. See, less distractions indeed. You haven't distracted me for nearly 5 minutes. See, it is working. Wish I could do that. Wish I could do that. Night groused, good-naturedly, but with some real jealousy. Your magic must be closer to Twilight's. He lightly reached in to tuck the blanket under the drowsing dragon's chin. Spike latched onto his hoof, with his teeth. Nightlight held very still, save for the sharp inhale and muffled scream in a closed mouth. That's because I've started reading stuff on space battles. Just try me. Well, I shall. I shall indeed. I shall indeed try you. 'Cause I try all the time. In this institution. And he prays. Oh my God, do a prayer. I pray to save your man. Yeah. I love that song. That was... that's such a good song. Howdy, Equinox. I just wanted to wish you a wonderful time with reading. Hello, Aster. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome, welcome. And people think humans have teething problems. Exactly. He's got you again, doesn't he? He's got you again, doesn't he? Came the tired question, Velvet not even looking back. Mr. Light's voice was closer to a whimper. Mm-hmm. We have got to get him past this biting phase. I will not have my son wearing a muzzle, Velvet proclaimed. I still think it's your aftershave. If you'll excuse us, Mr. Hooves, my husband and I need to make another trip to the doctor. Honestly, Nighty, he's never bit... Honestly, Nighty, he's never bit the rest of us, even when I brush his fangs. could be teething. uh, could be teething. I heard faintly. Houdini! Houdini! I heard faintly from the blue stallion. I watched them go with amazement. A very odd but charming family, and both children chasing a princess. I faintly heard from the blue stallion. I watched them go with amazement. A very odd but charming family, and both children chasing a princess, but in their own ways. And a dragon. I vaguely recalled them having some interactions with... I vaguely recalled them having some interactions with princesses in some story or other. I'm sure young Spike would follow in their hoofsteps. Ooh. Though I have to head out. Hope everyone has a great day. Wait, hold on. I missed so much chat. Maybe he can get a muzzle when he grows up and gets into those things. What? We were all thinking it. Though I have to head out. Hope everyone has a great day. See you later, Aster. Ooh, Mrs. Gagarin. Oh, speaking of distractions. Look, another distraction. Who's excited about Dragon Crew launch? Oh, Demo 2 mission. First space flight from American soil to the ISS in a decade. Is first manned space flight from American soil since the space shuttle retired. I'm so excited. I'm going to stay up to watch that because I can't wait. Spike is a good boy and wouldn't need a muzzle. I love space. I love space so much. So I'm excited. It makes a very, I love the timing too, because it makes a very good birthday present for me. I get to watch my own space launches live. Live streaming on YouTube. Man, what has the world come to, right? How much we have progressed. I also had deigned not to mention. What is this? I know that's a typo. I know it. I see it. It's a typo. Yes. Then why haven't you read The Martian yet? Because I have no time. And if I do read a book, then I get sucked into it, and then I don't do anything else other than read that book until I'm finished with it. Which wouldn't be good because I want to finish the story, because I don't want to disappoint you guys. You're excited for Lunicon? Yeah, Lunicon! Lunicon! Woo! Quarantine. That does sound pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be a historic moment. Make time. I know that habit. I know. Ping. But it's not that I don't make time, it's that I just don't have time. Or I don't have the time where I can concentrate enough to read the story during my work week. And then my off work week, I'm either recovering from work, doing this, or hanging out with the family. So it's going to be a thing for a little bit until I either get a new job with less extraneous hours, which may or may not happen this year because the world ended, or I get a better schedule going, which might happen, but yeah. I'm again with Shattered Skies. But also, first typo of the session. Woo! I had also not deigned. I had also not. I had also deigned not to mention that one of Shining's and Princess. Bye, Esther. I'll call you later. It's going to be launching on Thursday. Or no, it's going to be launching on the 27th. It's launching on the 27th at 4:30 Eastern Daylight Time. Woo! It's going to be great. It's going to be so good. I had also deigned not to mention that one of Shining's and Princess Cadence's discussions had involved wearing a muzzle, but I was reasonably sure neither of them was. I had also deigned not to mention that one of Shining's and Princess Cadence's discussions had involved wearing a muzzle, but I was reasonably sure. But I was reasonably sure neither of them bit one another. I considered, then decided it was none of my business, and that I wasn't entirely sure about the biting thing regardless. Who really knows with ponies? From my dealings with Shining, I understood that Twilight Sparkle was obviously precocious. What? Hold on. Look up.
Precocious.
Precocious. Okay, I knew that. I said it. Yay for calls. Yes, I will talk to you later. I will talk to you momentarily. It's already 7:30. Oh no! See, Master V was thinking. it. Yes, I knew. We all. From my dealings with Shining, I understood that Twilight Sparkle was obliviously precocious. From my dealings with Shining, I understood that Twilight Sparkle was obliviously precocious and eager to please, but Harmony helped anyone who stood between her and knowledge, being trampled by a tiny dozen. This is great. From my dealings with Shining, I understood that Twilight Sparkle was obliviously. From my dealings with Shining, I understood that Twilight Sparkle was obliviously precocious and eager to please, but Harmony helped anyone who stood between her and knowledge, being trampled by a tiny overzealous bookworm. I thought it said book horse. Oh, you wish to see the typo? Here we go. I had also deigned not to mention. I also had also. Which, I mean, could work, but it doesn't really make sense for the structure of the sentence. I don't think, at least. I don't know. I also had also. There we go. Book, yes. From my dealings with Shining, I understood that Twilight Sparkle was obliviously precocious and eager to please, but Harmony helped anyone who stood between her and knowledge. Being trampled by a tiny overzealous bookworm seemed an adorable end. It's somewhat ignorant.
Ignominious.
Ignominious. Because that's a word people usually use. Bookworm. From my dealings with Shining, I understood that Twilight Sparkle was obliviously precocious and eager to please, but Harmony helped anyone who stood between her and knowledge. Being trampled by a tiny overzealous bookworm seemed an adorable end, if somewhat ignominious. I'm keeping it.
Ignominious.
Yep, I did it. I said it. I said it. I said it. All that was good to know. I soon discovered as the princess's purple protege, now codenamed 3P, which only managed to annoy me further. All that was good to know. I soon discovered as the princess's purple protege, now codenamed 3P, which only managed to annoy me further now that there were two things related to 3 of the letter to remember. I need more of them. I love that I keep catching you on these words. Like, who uses ignominious? Like really ignominious? Oh yes, that's exactly that is exactly book horse right there. All that was good to know. I soon discovered as the princess's purple protege, now codenamed 3P, which only managed to annoy me further now that there were two things related to 3 of the letter to remember. Gosh. All that was good to know. I soon discovered as the princess's purple protege. All that was good to know, as I soon discovered as the princess's purple protege, now codenamed 3P, which only managed to annoy me further now that there were two things related to 3 of the letter to remember, one of which was nonsensical, became a permanent fixture. Oh, you're killing the narrator. Just wait for chapter 68. I don't know. I'm waiting for the chapter after that. All that was good to know, I soon discovered, as the princess's purple protege, now codename. All that was good to know, the one which was nonsensical should be idle sounding supremely annoyed. I know, but I'm losing breath quickly because of how long this sentence is. Like, it's 3 lines! Dude! All that. Like, it's like presentation, punctuality, and impress. And be ready to impress. That was great. All that was good to know, I soon discovered, as the princess's purple protege, now codename. All that was good to know, I soon discovered, as the princess's purple protege, now codenamed 3P, which only managed to annoy me further, now that there were two things related to the 3 of the letter to remember, one of which was nonsensical, became a permanent feature. Two things related to the 3 of the two things related to the 3 of the letter to the 3 of the letter to remember. One to the 3 of the letter to the 3 of the letter to remember. All that was good to know, I soon discovered, as the princess's purple protege, now codenamed 3P, which only managed to annoy me further, now that there were two things related to 3 of the letter to remember, one of which was nonsensical, became a permanent fixture. She was ever polite, eager to please, and unwaveringly loyal to the princess. Her only foible... Foible, right? I could swear that's foible.
Foible.
I got it right! The first read-through! Oh my gosh! I did a thing! I can read! She was ever polite, eager to please, and please. She can have a please. She was ever polite, eager to please, and unwaveringly loyal to the princess. Her only foible became apparent when she learned to levitate books in front of her as she read. This led to a number of bumps, bruised noses, and startled personal students until we learned to gently nudge her along the proper path and around those paying even less attention to their surroundings. As Twilight was actively seeking to better herself and was, in general, adorable doing so, the guard tended to be a little more tolerant of her than most. I can read the words that most people don't know how to read. I remember learning about foible in my 6th grade class. Oh, foible. That was a time. It was a fun time. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the time of inspiration. It was the time of ignorance. She was also far less likely to curse at those who interrupted her. She was also far less likely to curse those who interrupted her than the princess's previous apprentice, who apparently She was also far less likely to curse those who interrupted her than the princess's previous apprentice, whom had disappeared. She was also far less likely to curse those who interrupted her than the princess's previous apprentice, who had disappeared not long before my enlistment. I know it's enlistment. You keep throwing these long paragraphs at me. Guess who got a gold star for a very good job? Yay! She was also far less likely to curse those who interrupted her than the princess's previous apprentice, who had disappeared not whom shall it be? I wonder whom the previous princess's protege is, even though she looks exactly like Twilight in the Mirrorverse. Maybe the mirror doesn't let them age as fast as they do on the Equestria side. Who knows? Maybe that's why she's still in high school. But we'll never know, I guess. She was also far less likely to curse those who interrupted than the princess's previous apprentice, whom had disappeared. She was also far less likely to curse those who interrupted her than the princess's previous apprentice, for whom the Sweetie Belle toils. Casual best princess reference. I don't think Bacon Horse counts as a princess, though. I think she's still a unicorn, despite my past is not today. She was also far less likely to curse those who interrupted her than the princess's previous apprentice, whom had disappeared not long before my enlistment after some heated words. I could not imagine the princess becoming so upset, and could hardly believe that any would speak harshly to her besides. I had to agree. Oh, gosh. Oh, my gosh. I had to agree that Twilight Sparkle seemed like a far easier student to work with. Initially, Shining Armor received teasing that his little sister would soon be ordering us about, but he pointed out he wouldn't be surprised if she was helping run the country in 6 months. I had to agree that Twilight Sparkle seemed like a far easier student to work with. Initially, Shining Armor received teasing that his little sister would soon be ordering us about, but he pointed out he wouldn't be surprised if she was helping run the country in 6 months. 6 months, 6 years, 6 months, 16 years. Almost right. In the meantime, she became an impromptu messaging service amongst the guards. In the meantime, she became an impromptu messaging service among the guards. Simply attach a note to the outside of her book, and it would be surreptitiously removed at her designation. In the meantime, she In the meantime, she became an impromptu messaging service amongst the guard. Simply attach a note to the outside of her book, and it would be surreptitiously removed at her destination. Be removed at her designation. In the meantime, she became an impromptu messaging service amongst the guard. Simply attach a note to the outside of her book, and it would be surreptitiously removed at her destination, usually without her even being aware of its presence. It became both tradition and enormous in-game. In the meantime, she became an impromptu messaging service amongst the guard. Simply attach a note to the outside of her book, and it... I hit the mic! No! In the meantime, she became an impromptu messaging service amongst the guard. Simply attach a note to the outside of her book, and it would be surreptitiously removed at her destination, usually without her even being aware of its presence. It became both tradition and enormous in-game to see how many notes the Royal Messaging Service would attain in a day. It also served as a means of ensuring the little filly got where she was going without forcing her to use an escort within the castle, though her trips to and from it were generally undertaken with her elder brothers or parents. I can breathe again! I love how much this is messing with him. It's a thing, okay? How much longer I'm 2 paragraphs away. I'm 2 paragraphs away. I can finish on time. I have 10 minutes. Oh, that's not a lot of time. I have 10 minutes. Most often, however, her schedule and shinings only briefly coincided. In truth, even shining... Most often, however, her schedule and shinings only briefly coincided. In truth, even Shining and I only shared shifts once or twice in a week. You said brothers. Elder brothers? Did I say elder brothers? I did not say elder brothers. With her elder brother. I did not... Elder... Yeah, elder brother. Yeah, elder brother. Yeah. I said elder brother. Elder brothers. Or... Yeah, elder brother. Only brother. She only has one elder brother. Yeah, she only has one elder brother, or parents. See, look, only elder brother. Exactly as I said. I did not mess up. I did not. I said brother. I said brother. See, listen to it. Undertaken with her elder brother or parents. See? See? See, it only says a singular brother, not a plural brothers. So, ha. Most often, however, her schedule and shinings only briefly coincided. In truth, even Shining and I only shared shifts once or twice in a week, though this was apparently to make us better roommates. His section of the room was usually unoccupied while I was preparing or resting between shifts, and mine likewise when... Likewise. I do not cheat. It's a creative use of game mechanics. We saw you. You see nothing. Welcome, Archimedes. We can see you in the chat. Welcome to the stream. Most often, however, her schedule and shinings only briefly coincided. In truth, even Shining and I only shared shifts once or twice in a week, though this was apparently to make us better roommates. His section of the room was usually unoccupied while I was preparing or resting between shifts, and mine likewise when he was. This turned out to be agreeable. Shining and I decorated our split room as we saw fit, and felt no real need to install any sort of divider as some did. This meant we were able to share usage of a plush chair and desk. Truthfully, I rarely had any sort of paperwork to do, but Shining, for all his teasing of his sister, was, if not as studious, at least more so than I. While Twilight sought inspiration in the greater secrets of magic, Shining studied leadership and tactics. I almost made it. While While Twilight sought inspiration and the greater secrets of magic, Shining studied leadership and tactics. The former came naturally to him, though the latter he claimed educational. While Twilight sought inspiration and the greater secrets of magic, Shining studied leadership and tactics. The former came naturally to him, though the latter he claimed educational assistance by tabletop games. He suggested I join him sometime, ever seeking self-improvement. Of course I accepted. He approved of this effort and seemed elated. I can fix this. Easy. I accepted. Top games. He suggested I join him sometime, ever seeking self-improvement of top game. Ever seeking. You see nothing. Also, I saw everything. You didn't see everything. Shining's side of the room became a personal shrine to the Royal Guard. A number of books traversed from his parents' home to his study, ranging from ancient military history to Zebrakin battle strategies. My own side consisted of mostly my equipment polished to perfection, and a few shelves I chose to store the Queen's crystals on. While I no longer radiated enough to be used as light sources for most ponies, it seemed the constant influx of love from both princesses kept them at a comfortable glow. Shining found them to be fascinating, even if he didn't know precisely what they were, and we ended up setting extras around the room in various places as feng shui, which I'm reasonably sure is some other language for clutter, but I had to admit it did make the room feel exceptionally comfortable, which no pony can really complain about. I thought myself very content. Jingles, what do your cat eyes see? All. Really complain about. I thought myself very content. 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 There we go. What's in the author notes? As always, comments are an artist, food pellets, some art. Idle Hills by Isru, courtesy of Toasty Top. Thanks again to the both of you. I won't apologize for that title. Which is The Kin of a Skiller. And what is the art? Ooh. It's like one of the first arts, and it's great. I love it. All right. I love that V likes puns almost as much as I do. What is Mozart's favorite fruit? Banana. What kind of pants does Mario wear? Denim. Denim. Righty then. All righty then. That Kin of a Skiller took me forever. Yeah, it's a long chapter. It's a long chapter. I won't it's a very long chapter, so I get it. But honestly, how can you not take Twilight Sparkle and not make the obvious Twilight joke? Oh, I meant the pun. Yeah. But yes, the pun is good. Chapter's good. It's all great. Everything is fantastic. And I've never watched any of the Twilight series, so I don't know about Kin of a Skiller or the sins of a killer or something or whatever. But Ah, you missed me finish reading the chapter. Thankfully, the chapter is a normal-sized chapter, and it won't take me 2 weeks to read. Fantastic, right? And I finished 3 minutes early. Even did he even pronounce that word, or did he chicken out as usual? I think that answers your question. Anti-disestablishmentarianism. Yes, I do know that one. Do. Boom, and a boom, and a boop-a-doop, boo. Now, as I prepare the chapter for audio recording, and I think these the 2 week slump for this chapter was kind of like as a rebalancing force, since I read 2 chapters during last week's live stream. But yes, thank you all for joining me tonight. I'm not ending the stream just yet. In case you want to ask me things that I may or may not know, or ask V things he may or may not know, or give V or Desk more things to know with the things. I don't know. I don't know what people talk about. You kidding? I yell at a screen on my weekends. I don't know how people work. Yeah, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that word, Desk. Not even. I staunchly refuse. With staunchiness. I refuse with staunchiness. I will read Shadow Skies when I feel like it. And I may never feel like it. Who knows? It could be next year. Or 6 months. Or right now. Or possibly never at all. Who knows? I certainly don't. I already have the next 3 books I'm reading lined up. Seriously, I have the next 3. Give me my ball. I know you have it, Nox. I told you it's on your head. I always put it back on your head. And I use double-sided tape so it never gets off. Ha 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 ha. I'm so evil. I like listening to your stuff. Makes me wish I could get you to read Sour Grapes Chronicles, but you already got so much on your plate as is. Sour Grapes Chronicles? What? Hold on a momento. Read later. I shall look into that one. I'm always looking. Kalma just sent me a message. I'm watching you. And I'm going to reply, but then who's watching you? ... Post. There we go. I better make a new shelf for requests for reading. It's something to look into. Something to look into indeed. You lie. Alright, there we go. Now that this chapter's finally complete, I can start doing the things. I need to add a tone, sine wave. Super long. There we go. Move this down. Get that. Auto duck. Pow. Pa 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 pa. Pa pa. Pitida. Pitida. Da da pa. Applying auto duck. Here's a request. Read Shattered Skies. I am always looking for new reading material. I just like looking for new pony reading material. As you are all aware, I'm a huge fan. That don't seem right. That don't seem right at all. Huh. Wait a moment. That's weird. Hold on, I need to fix things. Shatner's Skies. Yes. Or maybe I shall read Tessunramaku. However you pronounce that I helped you out that one time. Remember how good I helped you out that one time? I helped you out really good that one time. Like, remember that one time that I helped you out? Alright, you have a good night. You have a good night, Ace. You have a wonderful night. Alright, and with that, I shall also bid you all adieu. And I shall see you next week, hopefully. I'm not going to make any promises because I'm terrible at keeping them, apparently. So we shall see what the future holds, right? I will attempt to finish editing those chapters, and no, I have not looked back on the chapters I recorded while drunk to see whether or not they're usable or not. So we shall see what happens with those. Oh, man. But with that, I shall see you guys. Later. You have a wonderful night.